alarming. There's a diet making rounds online that some experts are saying could be dangerous here. It's called dry fasting. Basically, it means you severely restrict food and drink for hours, sometimes days. That even includes water. Dr. Daria Long is here with me because basically, I can't tell the difference between this and just starvation.
Starvation. The problem here is that they're actually just cutting out water. So it's like, congratulations, you have invented a new way to eat badly.
And water has no calories. It makes no sense to me. How did this become something that got so much traction?
So this came from the influencer world, and I was actually reading one of the people who cited it said they had gotten the information for it from Google. So not a good place to get your health information.
So clearly you are saying this is not the appropriate way, because so many people have talked about intermittent fasting.
Right.
They're like, okay, there's this window that you should not eat. Why is that beneficial? Something like this obviously goes into the danger
and that's
zone.
very different. Intermittent fasting and fasting where you eliminate food for hours or a couple of days on end is one thing versus cutting out water. We go by the rule of threes. You can last about 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So you can fast for a period of time, but our bodies need water.
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that clearly you have to do if you are in the desert somewhere and you have no other choice. This is a diet. This is just extreme.
Your body will do everything it can to retain that water. It's not a good idea to cut water.
Okay, good advice there. Let's move to this next story that's been out there that was linking later bedtimes to childhood obesity. So this was looking at a new study, especially for children under the age of 6 years old, and they found that children who got to sleep after 9 p.m. were a little bit wider. They had bigger body mass. What is the link there?
So this is it's an interesting study. It wasn't a huge study, and we know that when you have less sleep, you have a higher risk of higher waist size and a bigger BMI. This study said that even if you sleep in later, just going to bed itself could potentially be a risk factor. Is it a cause? We don't know. It could just be that when you stay up later, you're eating more food and on the screen more. But what this did in my own life is made me pay a little more attention to even my own children's bedtime as well.
Yeah, of course, because you know you have those nights where it's just like, oh my gosh, you got away from me. And let's look at how much sleep is recommended for each child. You know, if you're 1 or 2 years old, you should be getting 11 to 14 hours of sleep. Even 13 to 18-year-olds, 8 to 10 hours. So you imagine if they're getting up for school and they're going to bed late, that would be pretty impossible to achieve.
Right, it's hard to do. And those are total times including naps. But what I tell parents, have a set bedtime and wake up time. And even on the weekends, keep that within about an hour consistent and keep screens out of rooms. We know it impacts sleep quality.
Yeah. This one really caught my attention. I have a child with asthma, and you know, a lot of people that I know are dealing with this, and you wonder, why is it increased, right? So now they're linking cleaning products around babies possibly could put your little one at a higher risk of asthma and chronic wheezing by the time they're 3. The first year of a child's life, of course, is when the respiratory and immune systems are developing, and researchers say hand and dishwashing detergent, multi-surface cleaners, glass cleaners, laundry detergent products, all of the things that basically we all use could possibly make this risk go up. Why?
So we know when babies are young, their respiratory systems are developing, and higher chemicals can increase the risk of inflammation. But what's a parent to do? I mean, a dirty house with a lot of mold isn't good for your child's health either. What I looked when I dug into this is there were certain chemicals that seem to be the bigger culprits. And these are ones I would say, these are the ones to keep out of your house. Keep washing your dishes, but things like air freshener, liquids, sprays, plug-in air fresheners, plug-in deodorizers, oven degreasers, and kitchen degreasers. Those are the ones that are some of the biggest culprits. Those are the ones that I would avoid having in my house.
What about all natural products? Because I do that for surface cleaners. It gets everything clean. Does that avoid?
There's a time and a place. All of them end up having chemicals unless you're literally using, you know, lemon or vinegar to clean your kitchen counter, or lemon to clean your microwave, which is a great option as well. Sometimes you just need something good and antibacterial. And I say if you figure out what the bad culprits are and eliminate them, and when you're cleaning, keep your infant out of the room, open up windows, just get them out so they're not breathing, whatever you're using.
It was interesting, though, too, researchers pointed out it might be good to have a little dirt around because it builds up children's immune systems. Right,
so this is the hygiene hypothesis. It says that our allergies are up because we're all over cleaning, and one of the culprits they saw was hand sanitizer. So what I tell you, I've told you before, soap and water, go for that. Try to avoid the antibacterial soaps and the hand sanitizers. I avoid those unless I'm literally in the kitchen, have just cleaned some raw pork or something like that. The rest of the time, you don't need the antibacterial.
My son won't do it because he sucks his thumb and it tastes bad. He just will refuse to let me give it to him. So I guess that works out. Dr. Daria Long, it's always so good to have you. And for more health stories like this, you can visit her website. It is drdaria.com. See you soon.
Thank you, Lynn.